Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Europa Universalis Rome. I'm your lovely host, Galvin, and today we're going to be jumping in as Rome. Haha. And today we're going to be taking a look at the basics of the interface. Now, we come out to our nice little map here, and it's in everyone except the developer's least favorite map mode, terrain. I'm sorry, but you know how it is. So we're going to come down here to our map modes. We have a few map modes available. First one, the political map mode. Probably the most used map mode ever. And one of the greatest. Shows the political boundaries. Simple. The regional map mode. Regions are basically arbitrary boundaries. For example, this is Gallia Cispinia. This is Italia. Magna Graecia. And so on. Every province is attached to a region. And I'll cover region more in the provinces episode. The religious map mode, which simply shows your provincial religions, whether it be shamanism, druidism, animism, Carthaginian, Roman, Greek, Egyptian, Jewish, and so on. In addition, we have the trade map mode, which highlights the good that every province produces. In addition, it will show you a blue province if it has open trade routes. So, since this is the start of the game, every province has open trade routes, and we could theoretically attempt to forge trade routes with anyone. Simple as that. And finally, diplomatic map mode. This will show you everyone's relations. For example, people at war you're with are red. People who are your vassal, or tributary, sorry, are darker green. You are freaking, bright green, and bright green stripes means that you have a claim on these provinces. Or a core, sorry. Now, everyone else, unfortunately, that you are not interacting with will simply be gray, despite the possibility to have good or bad relations with them. But like Carthage. Everyone hates Carthage. Simple enough, those are your 5 map modes. We'll of course be playing on the political map mode. And up here we have the national overview. This is where you can see your country's name, Rome, your primary culture, Roman culture, your government type, in this case military republic, which is a republic, and shows you the laws of the republic. Rulers can reign for 2 years and be re-elected after 10. And here are your national ideas. Each national idea has a little doohickey over its head, whether it be a military helmet, a wreath, a little temple thing, or a sack of money. This indicates the type of idea that you need to put in the slot to get your bonus. So, if I were to, say, put horse lords, professional soldiers, and civic duty in, this little dot here lights up. This means I am now receiving the effect of minus 0.02 monthly war exhaustion. However, if I decide Horse Lords is completely useless for me and decided deification's a lot better, then I can do so. And you'll notice that there's now a little X through that. That is no longer a proper idea, and I've also lost this bonus. So while you can choose whatever idea you want, you do effectively sacrifice the bonus for doing so. And you personally will have to weigh the decision. Do you want the bonus, or do you want a different idea? Most oftentimes you will find it's actually better to take a idea that you want than take a useless idea to weigh down just to get the bonus. In addition, you will also see the provinces here. Your list of provinces. We are doing well, there is no need to change anything. I beg to differ, but still. In addition, you have the economy tab here, which shows taxation, trade, and tributes. In addition, your expenses, army maintenance, fleet, and tributes. Tributes come from, or are given to, tributary and or suzerain states, respectively. For example, currently we have Massalia as a tributary state, which means they pay us a little bit of money, and we protect them. We are considered their suzerain state, which basically means their overlord. And, of course, your balance, and this shows a list of all trade routes you currently have. So if I were to go here and do this, there's now a trade route. Haha! And your data about that. Next up, we have diplomacy. Here we show a list of every country, along with any special status symbols next to it, such as at war with us, in alliance with us, paying us tribute. In addition, at any point, you can see the status of a country. Looking at Carthage, they have +1 stability, they have 56 manpower. Oh, this is extremely deceptive, by the way. While this may say 56, it actually means 56,000. For some reason, the 1,000 is not actually written on the screen. Gold. And monthly research point income. You can also see what ideas they have, their technology levels. This box that has appeared here is actually them and their infamy limit. Allied and gets tribute from Numidia. In addition, you have the ability to take action here, such as declare war, you know, like something we'd totally do. Or, you know, ask for military access, support rebels, what have you. You can also choose who your diplomat will be. Now, 99% of the time, your diplomat is going to die, which actually is very useful. You have an annoying populist? Maybe he should become your newest diplomatic envoy. More on why I hate populists in a different episode, but you'll understand. So, problem is, when declaring war, you're going to find that your envoy will be killed. This will sometimes be the case as well if he's detected supporting rebels, smearing reputations, and etc. In addition, if we close that, you can do everything here. In cases like this, it will just simply select a random envoy. So doing it quickly will simply mean you send a random envoy. If you want to specifically send an envoy, which I recommend for declarations of war because it's a good way to clean out the populists, you should probably select your envoy, knowing full well they will probably be executed. Yeah. It's actually really silly, because execution of diplomatic envoys grants somebody a casus belli of you. Yet the only time you can really do it, in fact the only time anybody ever does it, is when war is declared. Yeah. Makes no sense. But what have you. Next up we have the religion tab. Haha, this shows your state religion, the omens that you can invoke, and their chance of success. What omen shall we fail at today? Son of Jupiter! Holy shit, we were successful. A successful omen, of course, grants positive popularity gain, or, well, it grants whatever the omen was. Some omens grant improved fertility and population growth. Others grant improved trade income. And you have to take a gamble as to which omen you really want to do. Because knowing that if you screw up, you get the opposite effect. If I had screwed up Son of Jupiter, I would have actually taken negative 0.20 popularity. Yeah, every month. And since it lasts a year, youch, that can quickly lead up to problems. In addition, we can sacrifice to the gods here, which raises our stability by 1. You can also see the power and number of provinces and nations that each world religion has. So, sorting by power, Judaism has the most power. For some reason. While provinces and nations are generally connected, each religion has a base power assigned to it. Don't ask me why, but Judaism has a lot of power. Now, what does power in religions actually mean? Well, it affects omen success chance. Having an extremely weak religion, like ours being only 5.4, well, we're going to be in trouble. That means a lot more of our omens will be failures. Whereas Jewish have a base omen success chance, I suppose. Let's see, ours was 45%, so about 70? Yeah, roughly. Roughly about 70% base success chance, which is impressive. In order to increase religious power, there are a couple of ways. One of which is spices. Gives you religious prestige. Having spices in multiple provinces will improve your power. In addition to doing this, you can build temples, which grant additional religious prestige. The more temples you have, the higher your religious prestige. Keep in mind that the temple grants religious prestige to whatever the religion of the province is. If you own a province which is not of your religion, say I owned a Greek province or something, and built a temple in it, it would actually improve the Greek religion. So, it may not always be best to build a temple in all of your provinces. And also, in addition to this, the number of provinces and nations that follow the religion also granted power. And yeah, so, which is actually kind of strange when you look at it. It's extremely odd, and the math is really weird on it. I mean, you'd think Greek would be a lot stronger with this. They're one of the largest world religions. Druidism, being the largest religion, is actually the weakest. And this is due to variant other factors. One, all of the Druidists are nothing but tribes, whereas we are civilized. That grants us further bonuses. And I really wish I could tell you what all of the bonuses are, but it's obfuscated in the code, and unfortunately no one is entirely certain. Again, also, as I said before, there's a base power granted to religions that varies, so it really is impossible to tell. But I hope I've set you on the right direction in how to improve your religion power to make omens a little bit better. Next up, the military tab. This is where you can adjust your army maintenance and naval maintenance, respectively. And of course, where you can assign leaders quick and easily. And this tells you your troops and support limits. Going over your support limit, as in any Paradox game, isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you pay more for each soldier over the support limit. I have, in my very rich societies, managed to easily exceed 2 times my force limit, but it will entirely depend on how healthy your economy is and how many soldiers you can sustain. So, in addition, we can also view our navies here. There you go. That's all we really need to do here. And of course, adjusting the maintenance will affect your troops' performance in combat. Well-paid soldiers perform better. Next up, we have technology. Here we have 5 offices, whom I cannot dismiss for 2 years. God damn it. Generally, you can dismiss these offices, and appoint new ones as needed, or, if you'd prefer, just let them live out their life with their office. Each office here affects religious technology. Each point of finesse gives us, as you can see down there, from the number of citizens, is improved by 70%. That means that this guy here, if I could, thank you, he has 7, I believe. 7 finesse, yes. He has 7 finesse, and thus grants 70% to the gain. Now, in addition to finesse, there are other things. The army quaestor, for example, per point of charisma gains more senate influence, but also, per point of marshal, better land organization, lower siege time, and so on. And it also shows what he personally gets from the post. It gives him money, gives him prominence, and the stuff you'd expect from holding a high-ranking office. Similar things for the Navy, but for the construction and civic, per point of charisma have different effects, such as build cost, build time reduction. Civic technology per point of charisma increases research points, and civilization spread. This can be critical, but even more critical is the Pontifex Maximus. This affects your omen success chance, reduces your omen failure penalty. So you need to choose a balance. As much as you'd like to easily just swoop by and succeed everything in technology, doing so could mean you could be stuck with bad omens, your civilization doesn't spread as far, and you actually lose out on technology over time as a result. It's a game that you have to balance, to choose which is right. Like, if civilization spreaded faster, could you stand to gain a lot more technology in the long run? If yes, then you might as well get one who has a higher charisma than finesse. But as always, don't go extreme with either one. A 9-0 is going to be bad no matter which one you put him in. Let's face it. Next up, Dynasty. This is your current ruler. This is his spouse, if he has one. Children, friends, and rivals. Over time, this family tree will be filled out. And yeah, this is his current title, Consul, and tells you what he gets for it. And also shows you, per point of finesse, what having a consul does. Per point of martial, and per point of charisma. Charisma, of course, is useful as it affects national revolt risk and infamy. Finesse gives you more money, and martial gives you better armies. Pretty self-explanatory. You can also see that he is the leader of the mercantile faction, and that he has the crafty trait, And you can also see he's ambitious. He wants to become naval prefect. Now, ambitions, of course, can be filled later. Doesn't have to become the naval prefect now. He's probably pretty content with being the leader. You can see his family, and this shows a family prestige. Characters from prestigious families are more likely to become rulers. In republics, they have more senators on their side, and in monarchies, they are next in line after members of the ruling family. His age, and his 3 stats, martial, charisma, and finesse. Each one has different effects. Martial is good for generals, and also good for certain offices, as we discussed. Being a member of the mercantile faction has those effects for being consul. His popularity with the people. You want a high popularity, because it does kind of keep, revolt risk down. Prominence is pretty simple. Fame of the character, job and titles help bring them to public attention, and prominent characters are likely to get married and have children. Loyalty, measure of characters' loyalty to the state. Just loyal characters are more likely to cause problems to a ruler than loyal ones. And, come on, stupid hover tooltips. However, even most of the loyal characters have their limits. You'll find that rulers will, regardless of things, always have a loyalty of 100%. Corruptness, thankfully we're early in the game, and there is no corruption. Exactly what it says it is. How corrupt a character is. A corrupt character sent to govern a province will be more likely to take a cut for himself, upsetting the residents. On the other hand, corrupt characters will squeeze a province more effectively, leading to greater revenues. Also, at amendum there, greater and larger and more common revolt. Corruptness is generally a bad thing. This is your character's wealth. Wealth is a measure of his personal wealth. Characters will accumulate and spend wealth throughout their lifetime. Wealthy characters may use their wealth to improve popularity and to earn friends. In addition to this, characters who are extremely wealthy can improve the state. There are events, if your character has a high enough wealth, that you can actually just directly improve the civilization value of a province. This is extremely tricky, and will take a lot of time and effort and money, but it can be done. It can be done. Alright, next up. Culture, religion, location, and birth province. All fairly self-explanatory, and shouldn't need it. In addition, you have several buttons up here. You cannot imprison the ruler. It is not possible to assassinate your own ruler. It is not possible against your own ruler, like many of these things are. But hey, you can grant him a title. Yeah, make him the augur, and make him pontifex. Yeah! Good stuff. And then you can see his titles appear here. Against others, you will, of course, have this option, but it's sort of hand-tied against your ruler. You can also see his history. Born, became consul, became leader of the mercantile faction, became augur and pontifex. Simple as that. And each trait, of course, while they have certain effects, can also affect stats. So while crafting makes your intrigue more likely to succeed, a trait of kindness might improve your charisma. Alright, that about covers your Dynasty tab. Next on to government. This is the Senate and the laws. I really wish I could get more into this, but this is such a complicated system, and in fact varies from government type to government type, so I'm going to have to cover this all in its own video. Missions and decisions. Simple stuff here. This is the types of government that you can change into, and the requirements of it. In addition, there are certain specific events, such as the ability to enact gladiatorial games and Via Aurelia, which they all have their own effects, some of which last until the end of the game, the year 727. You can also change your government type here. Each type of republic has its own faction behind it. So, in order to proclaim an aristocratic republic, the religious faction must be dominant, and the ruler must be a member of the religious faction. I'm almost to getting an oligarchic republic, but not quite. The mercantile faction isn't dominant enough. Each type of republic also, of course, has its own set of ideas and rules on election. Rulers reign for 2 years. Rulers reign for 8 years, 4 years, 4 years. They all, however, are re-electable after 10 years. In addition, you'll notice that the Democratic Republic and Republic Confederacy only have 2 ideas. Yeah, they don't have the 3 ideas that the other 3 kinds of republic, military, oligarchic, and aristocratic, have. but they do actually have okay-ish, you know, bonuses as opposed to the rest. Whereas monthly loyalty is actually my favorite, and I would recommend an aristocratic republic to everybody, first off. Oligarchic republics are okay, I guess. They're pretty bad. Democratic republic has monthly popularity, which is pretty bad. And you lose out on an idea to get that. And you have to take 2 civic ideas guaranteed to get that. It's not a great form of government. Republic Confederacy has 1 economic, 1 civic idea, but has a bonus research points to 20%. If you're behind on tech, a Republic Confederacy can do wonders. That is 20% applied, you know, after your citizenry, so it's not bad. Not bad. It's okay. And then we have dictatorship. Now, in order to form a dictatorship, you have a lot more complicated requirements. Your ruler has to be popular. He has to be older than 16. He must be either conqueror, victorious, ambitious, tactician, corrupt, or selfish, and he must have a tyranny score, that's this, of 10. And in doing so, we'll actually get you in a government that has 4 ideas. Dictatorship, type monarchy, ruler reigns for life. This also means that getting 1 of each idea gets you a ruler popularity gain of 0.10. You also gain 10 tyranny for doing it. Now, I would like to point you to the Democratic Republic. Monthly popularity, 0.01. Yeah. Now you can see why I think the Democratic Republic is the worst form of government. Yeah. It should be obvious. Okay. Well, that's basically decisions. You also have your current active mission. Whenever you don't have a mission, you'll often simply be given a mission. And your objectives here. Magna Graecia does not exist. Control Tarentum and control Aga Brutus. In short, annex these wads. This is also your mission's expiry date. You are given a limited time to complete the mission. If you fail to complete the mission, you will be given penalties. In this case, I will lose 1 stability if I fail to complete the mission by this date. Yeah. So you need to pay attention to this. Alright. And finally, characters. This is simply a list of everybody that you can do anything with. You know, you have your leader. Sorry, here he is, the consul. You have a provincial governor, the praetor, the navy quaesta, the naval prefect, and so on. Everyone with a title. And you can also, of course, sort. Say I want to view men. Say I wanted to view women. The ruler's family. These are the people from my family. Employed. Unemployed. These are, you know, useful. You can also, of course, go to all. I believe it defaults simply to just employed people, which is pretty useful. As, you know, seeing all the children isn't exactly useful, as you can't really do anything with them. Well, I mean, you can't even imprison children. God damn it. Ah, well. You can, of course, also sort by faction. It's good to know who the populists are. Yeah, good to know who the populists are. And, of course, imprisoned. Useful stuff. And that's generally about it for that. You can also, of course, at the top of the screen, view your stability, your current manpower, which is used to reinforce your armies, your gold, as well as if you hover over this, you will see your balance. This is also your research points, and your tyranny. In addition to this, there is also the infamy. Infamy is simple. As you conquer things, you get infamy. And also, apparently, dishonoring or breaking alliances, executing foreign envoys, and being discovered assassinations. Getting too much infamy... Well, what happens in any Paradox game? Suddenly, everyone will want to kill you. And rightfully so, because you're a menace to the world. Of course, if you're powerful enough, who cares? Remember, might makes right. Now, you'll also have a series of flags here. We can call in allies. Country is at war. Provinces have unused trade routes. Free government positions. Fine, I'll appoint some censors. God damn it. There's military faction censors. That clears that up. You can colonize provinces, and there are the possibility of revolts. Now, revolts are going to be a thing of life. For example here. Stability. Negative stability. Oh dear, I appear to be at negative stability. That's the source of my revolts. Yeah. But, you know, what you gonna do? Gotta get that stability up. Gotta sacrifice them piggies. Yeah. In addition, there will be other flags that appear, and you should just pay attention to these occasionally. In addition, you can control the date, time, and open up the outliner here, which shows you your armies, navies, construction projects, and other things that will appear there. In addition, we can also select certain provinces. For example, we could negotiate with barbarians, but, you know, that depends on where they are. You'll have various options with them, but I'll cover that more in diplomacy. Again, diplomacy. Here, we can construct. You can sort through here. If you want to construct something in Rome, well, we can't, because we lack the necessary technology. At the start of the game, you'll find you actually can't build anything, which is strange, since a lot of provinces already have buildings. Buildings all have varied effects, and you can build them once you unlock the technology. It's highly recommended that you do. Here, you can recruit your armies. Different guys are available in different provinces, but that will be covered more in the warfare and trade chapters. And navy. Pretty easy to recruit navies, as there's only the trireme, which both transports people and fights. You can always click this to go to your home province if you somehow get lost on the map, which actually is pretty hard to do. And find province. So, Carthage, and that will bring you right to Carthage. Alright, next up, of course, the ledger, which is basically a gigantic information soak. Here we have our country comparison. Largest. Well, there would be a thing here, but we haven't actually unpaused the game long enough for the ledger to record anything. We have country comparison, country overview. This allows us to show our different provinces and who is the governor of them. This shows us research points, tax they're producing, manpower, culture, religion, goods that they're producing, and their fort level. Military overview shows us our armies and how strong they are currently. Economy overview. This shows you your ins and outs. So I get 94% of my income from taxation, 5% from tributes. And yeah. If we look over here, I think this is expenses. So far this year, 98% of my expenditure has been from expenses. Actions. Sorry. Of course there are expenses. All expenses are expenses. God damn. Have been from actions, and a small portion has been army maintenance and fleet maintenance. And diplomacy overview. This shows you who your friendly relations are, and you can scroll through for hostile relations, current wars throughout the world, and so on. This opens up the main menu, which, close it, and this shows the log. For example, on January 2nd, law, the power of an omen was passed in Bithynia. This allows you to basically look around at any country and see what they're up to. It's not exactly a useful feature, and I just generally keep it minimized at all times because it blocks my screen. And of course we have the map, the very place where we started this whole thing. And so with that, we come to an end. Yeah, kill those damn Greeks. Murder. Murderize. Jerks. Iran. Not allowed to do that. Yeah. Alright, kill them. And that is going to end our episode, fair folks. So thank you everybody for watching. As always, this has been your lovely, lovely host, Calvin, signing off.